But on the topic of CM Punk and AEW, because it's been a topic forever, this past week, a story broke out, and I believe it all comes from quotes from Dave Meltzer.
A story broke out, and it had all it could take. It couldn't take anymore. It had to get the out of there.
The headline, this is at itrwrestling.com, Inside the Ropes. Tony Khan believes CM Punk all-in footage key to WBD media rights deal.
What?
That the airing of the footage with Jack Perry and CM Punk, introduced by the Young Bucks in the midst of their heel turn, weeks before they beat up Tony, that was the key to getting this big WBD media rights deal.
And how does he attribute that? How does he flesh that out?
Here's a quote from Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio. I have discussed this with him. You have no idea how much. And it's always the same thing, that he believes that was the key to getting that deal. So I will tell you, I mean, in every discussion, there's not even a thought in his mind that he made a mistake there. If it helped making the deal, then he's right. But I, certainly didn't think long-term it was the right thing, even though, yes, it did help make Jack Perry a star.
What?
I just didn't think it was a positive for the company in the big picture. I guess the question that Dave doesn't really...
But wait, by what I was talking about, an explanation of, I attribute it because the ratings skyrocketed, or because we started selling out all the buildings, or because the merchandise went through the roof. Which of those things happened that I missed?
Yeah, see, that's the crazy thing. If you look at everything, the ratings went down. I mean, we've been talking about it for a while, that if you look at everything since Jack Perry, CM Punk, that's when the real nosedive happened. In terms of getting Jack Perry over as a star, no, I don't think so. In terms of creating buzz and getting online discourse about AEW, none of it was positive.
I bet it was all bad.
It was all negative. So it can't be like, oh, WBD saw that everyone was talking about us and they had to get a deal. In that case, everyone's been talking about TNA for 25 fucking years. So I don't know. How could it be a positive? How could it get them the deal? How?
There's no potential possibility that any programming executive said, oh, that's the greatest thing I ever saw. That 30 seconds of footage with no audio of one of your fucking wrestlers front face locking the other one. So we'll give you a bunch more money. The ratings went down after. The houses went down after. People shit all over them on it. It deflated their regular fans because it was so bleh and nothing really. And at the same time, it alienated the Punk fans because they're like, this fucking clown, Jungle Jack, deserved it. It was all bad publicity. And Jack Perry ain't a star.
And again, let's talk about how it happened, because it didn't happen in a vacuum. It wasn't just like, hey, it's time, let's air the footage. Punk made some comments about Tony in that Ariel Helwani interview, and Tony had a hissy fit and said, now's the time to release the footage. That's right.
Oh, and by the way, it proved that Tony Khan said that lied and said he was in fear of his life because a guy turned and yelled at him for 4 seconds, maybe.
It made Jack Perry and Tony Khan look awful.
Yeah.
And the Young Bucks look awful because they were presenting it like it was a big deal. It showcased a star on another company's show and just made him a bigger star. So I think, well, I guess I'll ask you the question. Do you think Tony Khan maybe convinces himself of things and has a very difficult time acknowledging his faults as a booker and as a promoter? Because I don't remember him ever taking the blame for any of the things he actually did.
No, I mean, but that's two different things now, though. No, he never says anything was other than great. And all the booking came together wonderfully, like in the tournament, in the gold block and the fucking cheese block or whatever. But that's different than, this wasn't something he really booked. Obviously, he didn't orchestrated from the start. He just had an idea to put it on, and he should have known better than that. It wasn't even about his booking. He didn't have to admit his booking sucks. He could have just said, I'm not going to fucking go out and look the people on television straight in the eye and tell them that the guy did something to make me fear for my life, and then show footage of him not doing it and me looking like a pussy. And also, the guy's already gone and is in a bigger company and is drawing a fucking fortune. I don't need to show him really manhandling these fucking goofy kids on my roster that I still want to fucking use. And it didn't make Perry look good because he got fucking front face locked for being a smart ass and he had no rebuttal for it.
And what constitutes a star? It made him a star. How?
Well, because now, well, he got a van to ride around in. The neighborhood registered offender, sold it to him secondhand. And maybe that's, I don't know how they think he's a star. He's a star in their eyes, in their world. He just doesn't sell any tickets, draw any money, get anybody to watch, or particularly have great matches.
He's a star, except for the fact that he's been off TV for a few months now and nobody's missed him.
Well, and I was about to say a minute ago, and we got sidetracked, but what do we know what happened to him?
He lost the title to Daniel Garcia. He had to go away.
Well, I'd go away in shame too if fucking Garcia beat me.